Well, it's just John Black, Super Chemist. I think we're on part 30 of Is the Deep State a Monarchy? And this guy here, he's famous King Charlemagne, King of the Franks. Now, this list is not a complete list, but it's the most comprehensive list I can find. And they're all grandchildren. They're direct descendants, okay? And you'll see all the people that I named and all the whatever. I'm gonna before we go over the list and I scroll through this and you can see, who this guy is related to, right? I'm going to show you all the names because I've marked down all the presidents, all the vice presidents, the first ladies, the governors, the secretaries. I'm going to put them on a list so you can see them. I'm going to show you that list first, so it's nice and organized, so you can see percentages and you can see exactly how many, presidents and this and that actually have this mega royal blood. And we're talking about 4 bloodlines that lead back to 7 kings, all the most important kings of history. Yeah. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over the monarchy in England, right? Because if I'm right, then their bloodlines, right? Because I'm saying these 4 bloodlines that lead back to these 7 kings, that should be what determines who's the next king and queen, right? That all the lineages in modern times should, these, King Charles, Queen Elizabeth, they should all, Prince Harry and Williams, they should all have all the same exact bloodlines. This bloodline that goes back to King Edwards the First, and then it splits off into 4 bloodlines that go to 7 kings that go, spread across pretty much the most important kings of history, and so we'll see, because you're going to see, and when I scroll through this, right, you're going to see all those names, King had, and you're not only going to see the kings and queens, you're going to see their wives that you thought were, like Princess Diana, you thought was a nobody. Yeah, she's got the same royal blood. Just because she wasn't known, she had the royal blood. That's why they married. They wouldn't marry if they didn't have the royal blood. You know what I mean? Go on. So let's look at the monarchy system in the UK. How do they pick their king and queen? What determines who's the next king and queen? Well, let's look at let's look at the current monarchy, right? Hold on here, let me get close. You got King Charles, who's king's right now, right? He had 2 kids, Harry and William, and look at them. They're all princes, they're all duchesses and whatever. And look at who he married, Princess Diana. And they'll try to tell you that Princess Diana wasn't royal. Okay, and you're going to see, because when I show you this list, they're all grandchildren to the same 7 kings. Right, with the same royal bloodline. She is royal, just as royal as Charles is, King Charles. Yeah, they're not just cousins and whatever, like they always act like Princess Diana was a nobody. Charles would not have married her unless she was a mega royal, okay? Same way with you got Harry here, right? And you got Meghan Markle. Yeah, they're 16 cousins. They're also like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and every number you can think of cousins. But the thing I want you to realize is they're all grandkids to the same 7 kings with the same 4 royal bloodlines. They're the same grandchildren to the same 7 men. Okay? Everyone on the list. Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York. Catherine Middleton, Princess of Wales. Elizabeth, this chick here, Camilla Parker Bowles, Queen's Consort. I don't know what that means. Elizabeth II, Elizabeth I, and I just threw this guy in, just George Herbert. He's the Earl of Carnarvon and part of Downton. That's why I put it in, because it says Downton Abbey. They have a real famous show or something in England. Anyways. Everyone on that list, okay, has a direct bloodline, not cousins, not whatever, a direct bloodline through these people. King Henry VIII, King Edward I, King Henry III, and also because King Henry III had kids that lead to these two people, King Charles V and Queen Mary, the Queen of the Scots. He's the Holy Roman Empire, right? And they kind of loop back on each other, right? So these people not only go through a bloodline, it goes through these three people, right, down to 5 kings that I'll mention in a second, you know, the first kings of everything, okay? Not only that, they have to come through this bloodline, right, through King Charles, King Mary, and come down, and it ends up having you have 4 bloodlines and 7 kings that you're going to meet up with. Everyone in king, that's how they decide who is the king and queen of England. If Charles III died, it's going to be these bloodlines that I'm naming that will determine the next king or queen, okay? And I'm saying that every president, and I'm going to tell you, I redid the list so it looks better. I mean, so you can read it better, right? But if I was wrong, right, this doesn't prove I'm right, but, you know, the deep state being a royalty, a monarchy, but if they didn't have the same exact bloodline running through the same exact people, splitting up into 4 or 5, you know, I say 4, into 4 bloodlines, leading to the most important 7 kings in history, you know, they wouldn't be, you know, if they were different, like, you know, it came out all my royal bloodlines in America, these presidents and that, they have royal bloodlines, but they're not the same. They're the same exact royal bloodline that leads through these people and then splits off to 4 bloodlines that go to 7 different kings. And they're all grandchildren. I mean, they're all cousins. Don't get me wrong. They're cousins every which way because they're so inbred. It's ridiculous, right? Because they're monarchies. That's what monarchies do, okay? And they don't just have one single bloodline. They have 4 bloodlines leading to 7 kings going all the way back to the 700s. Come on, man. All of them? Really? Everyone in the monarchy that's up top has got these bloodlines. They're not important, huh? It's just a big quinky-dink, huh? Alright, let's remember. These lines also go to these 12 people, right? These 12 people signed Magna Carta. There was only, 25 people to sign Magna Carta. One of them was King John, and King John is he fathered Henry III. So Henry III, which is on my list, he's the father. You know what I mean? He signed. Here's 3 more people that signed. I'm finding out a royalty. And there's only 25 people, if you include the king, who signed the Magna Carta. And you can see them up to like 16. They're all royals. And 12 of them are mega royals. And I'm going to prove it because they're going to be on this list. When we go onto this link that we're going on to, the most comprehensive site I've seen when it comes to this one list where it has grandchildren to this guy Charlemagne, King Charlemagne. The bloodlines run through these, right? All of them. Okay, that's a coincidence though. The people who Magna Carta, that's like who made the English government that's today, okay? Now I want you to see also who else all has this bloodline in England, okay? You got Boris Johnson, right? President. You got William Churchill. He was a president. Keep in mind, I didn't even look into England or any other country, okay? These just names just popped up, okay? You know, I wasn't even looking for these people. And there's so many of them in other countries that they just pop up, okay? Look at Canada. You got 3 presidents from Canada. Who's the president right now? Justin Trudeau, although I think they've taken him out of office. Who's the president in England right now? Boris Johnson, although I think they're taking him out too. Then we get to Ireland. Who's the fourth president of Ireland? Yeah, another mega royal. 31st president of Peru. The crown princess of Greece. Albanian king, king of the the first king of the United Spain. Remember, I said Charles V and Mary Stuart are two of the 7 kings. Yeah, Charles V gives birth to Ferdinand II of Aragon, the first king of Spain that was united. A lot of first kings here. I'll tell you what. First king of England, first king of everyone's a first, huh? All right, but we don't care about these bloodlines. Okay, whatever. Then look at where do the bloodlines lead to, or rather, where do they run through? You know what I mean? I just mentioned it, but we're going to say it again. All these names right here. Remember, Mary Stuart, Queen of Scots, she's one of the 7 kings, right? Here's 2 kings, and here's the 5 kings. So you have to run through them, right? Everyone has to run. They all do. They all run through her. They're all grandkids to her. Grandkids to this Charles I, the king of the Holy Roman Empire, right? And Henry VIII, Edward I, Henry III. All these people, it runs through those people's bloodlines, right? But they lead to these 2 kings and these 5 kings, right? First king of the England. Yeah, okay. The first king. This one wasn't the first king, but there's only 2 main bloodlines that go father to son, and that's Alfred the Great and also William the First, because William I was cousins. That was when it went from son to father to son or whatever, and then all of a sudden, I don't know why, but it went over to a first cousin, which was William the First. And then his kids, would be all the Henrys and all the Edwards 1, Edward 2, and all that. All them were another line. So you have 2 direct lines, actually. But only one leads back to Alfred the Great as a direct line. But they want you to have both of them. They want you to have a line that goes through to William I and to Alfred the Great. Okay, so you get both lines, you know what I mean, that are direct bloodlines of these kings, you know what I mean? This one is the first half. This is the first half, this was the second half, right? So you have them both then. And they want you to have Louis VI, King of France, Robert I, King of Normandy, even before France became France. These people, these are like, first to the first. Then you got Charlemagne, the King of the Franks. He's the king of all kings, man. He's the king of the Roman Empire. He's the king of France. He's the king of Germany. He's the king of Europe. He's the king of kings. And all of his descendants, all of his grandkids. I just named 4 of his grandkids. Well, not Alfred the Great is not. But I'm just saying, these other kings are all these people on the list here except Alfred the Great. They're all grandkids of Charlemagne. So, really, it goes back to 2 main kings. Alfred the Great, and the first king of England, and Charlemagne, the king of the Franks, the king of all, the king of kings. But I say 7 kings, because they all go through these 5 main characters. And then you got these secondary characters where they can come in and they won't be as royal, like Henry VIII, Edward I, Henry III. Edward I being the main, he's a key player he must have married somebody and, combined bloodlines, and so he's really important, you know what I mean? He leads to more other kings than these other Henry VIII and Henry III. But you still don't see any whatever, right? Okay. And it's the Magna Carta, right? So they all lead through these people too, especially these 12. These are the mega royals here. And then these other ones are just royals, right?